15th chapter. We
Pandavas,
were to start 15th chapter, Mataji. We have
yeah.
finished 14th, 15th chapter. Start.
The Pandavas retire timely. That is the 15th chapter, first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. The Pandavas retire timely. The news about the disappearance of Lord Krishna has been given by Arjuna to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Now, later what happens, let us see. The conversation is between Sutta Goswami and Shaunak Adi Rishi. श्रुत्वाच एवं कृष्णसखः कृष्णो भ्रात्रा राज्ञा विकल्पितः नानाशङ्कास्पदं रूपं कृष्णविश्लेषकर्षितः एवं कृष्णसखः कृष्णो कृष्णसखा the celebrated friend of Krishna, Krishna Arjun, Bhratra by his elder brother, Rajnya King Yudhishthir, Vikalpitah speculated, Nana various, Shanka Aspadam based on many doubts, Rupam forms, Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, Vishleshaha, feelings of separation, Karshitaha became greatly bereaved. Sutta Goswami said Arjuna, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Krishna. Over and above all Yudhishthira Maharaj's speculative inquiries. So inquiry is done, everything is done. But then he is having the strong feeling of separation. He is in grief. So Vimala Mataji read.
Hare Krishna Bhakti. Sutta Uvacha Evam Krishna Sakha Krishno Bhratra Radhya Vikalpitah Nana Shankaspadam Rupam Krishna Vishleshakarsitah. Translation. Sut Goswami said, Arjun, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief-stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Krishna over and above all Maharaj Yudhishthir's speculative inquiries. Purport, being too much aggrieved, Arjuna practically became choked up, and therefore it was not possible for him to reply properly to the various speculative inquiries of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So various speculative inquiries Maharaj Yudhishthira has done. Shokena Shushyadvadana Vrutsarochor Prabha Vibhum Tam Evanusmaran Nashaknot Pratibhashitum Shokena due to bereavement Shushya Vadana drying up of the mouth. Vadana means mouth. Rit Saroja, lotus like heart. Hatha lost. Prabha, bodily luster. Vibhum, the supreme come of unto Lord Krishna. Eva certainly. Anusmaran, thinking within. Na could not. Ashaknot, be able. Pratibhashitum, properly replying. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and the lotus like heart had dried up. Therefore, his body lost all luster. Now, remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. He could not speak. Actually, that is a state of even the hardcore devotees of Guru Maharaj. I still remember when Guru Maharaj left his body, his personal servant, he could not speak a word. He was just, okay, we all have association of Maharaj, everything. But the personal servant, he has so much that he could not stay without Guru Maharaj. He's continuously crying. He did not come out only from the room. So this is the love actually one has with the respective Guru. Now, Arjuna is very, very close to Krishna. That is why disappearance of Krishna could not be tolerated by Arjuna. If a personality or a person has connection with many people, those who are closest, they feel the loss more. Everyone has some grief. One who is closest, he feels more grief. So that is very important. And here it is shown that Arjuna was totally in grief. He could not speak anything. Shrena samstabhya shuchah पाणिना मृत्युषे नेत्रयोः परीक्षेण समुन्नध समुन्नद्ध प्रणयोक्तकण्ठ కంఠ్యకాతరః.
మీరు ఎక్కడ కూర్చుంటారు ఇక్కడ?
What happened? Shrena, with great difficulty, sanstapya, by checking the force, shucha, bereavement, panina, with his hands, amrutjah, smearing, netrabhyo, netrayo, the eyes, parokshena, due to being out of sight, samunnadha, increasingly, pranaya, outkantya, eagerly thinking of the affection, katara, distressed. So with great difficulty, he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed because Lord Krishna was out of his sight. And he increasingly felt affection for him. So this is known as Vipralamba Bhava. When Lord is in front, yes, one loves. But when Lord is out of sight, one remembers Lord more. And this Vipralamba Bhava has been told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience to all the Shad Goswamis. So they told that we want to be with you. Not told you go to Vrindavan and experience the cry in separation. And the child jumps up and down before mother. Okay, mother praises everything wonderful. Mother loves, sometimes other scolds, everything nice. But if the child is out of sight, then mother cannot but only think about the child. So this is the love in separation. When you are present, that value is not much understood. The moment you are gone, yesterday that Sola Masika Shraddha was for my father was happening. In all the year, the whole thing, they do it in one day. In there, just thinking, when you were present, idly I used to go hard. But touch was there in phone, you could not hear and all. Sometimes once in a month or maybe twice in a month because all preaching activities. But he's not there, then the feel is more. The separation is more. So when the people are around, we don't much care them. But when they are not there, at the time you think more about them. And this is the rule, this is the law of nature. A person is present, you hardly take care of them, hardly appreciate. The moment the person goes away, the person goes on appreciating and understanding the value. Now here, Arjuna spoke so many, means he was back answering Krishna practically. First chapter of Bhagavad Gita is what? Back answering Krishna. Not understanding the value of Krishna. Now after Virata Swarupa, he could understand. So this is there. Then he cries, oh, I called you Sakha, I called you Yadava. Calling Yadava is also, it's like telling that you are a Vaishya, you're just a coward boy. We are Kshatriyas. You call somebody Yadav, they get angry. And they get very much angry. You call a Yadav as a Yadav, they get angry very much. Call me by name, they'll say. But we'll tell, oh, Yadav, you're so wonderful, you're belonging to Krishna's family. But Yadav means to say that you are in the third section of the Varnashrama, Varna. So I used to call you like this. But you see, practically, Arjuna is only arguing with Krishna. Sometimes we argue with our spiritual master also, not understanding the value. But then the spiritual master is gone. Then we understand, oh, whatever my spiritual master has spoken is right. So this is what is we have to learn. Now when Krishna is out of sight, he is having more affection for him. Sakhyam maitrim sauradam cha साथ्यादिषु संस्मरन् नृपमत्र च मिथ्याः बाष्पगद्गदया गिरा. Sakhyam, well-wishing, Maitrim, benediction, Saurdam, intimately related, cha also, Sarathya Adishu, in becoming the chariot driver, Sansmaran, remembering all these, Nipam unto the king, Agrajam, the eldest brother, iti thus, said, Bhashpa, heavily breathing, Gadgadaya, overwhelming, Gira, by speeches. So remembering Lord Krishna and his well-wishes, benedictions, benefactions, intimate family relations, and his chariot driving, Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing heavily, began to speak. So when you cry, naturally you breathe heavily. Why? Your nose is choked. You're not able to breathe. So that is how Arjuna is remembering how Lord is the greatest benefactor. How much intimate relation he had with me. He became my chariot driver. Supreme personality of Godhead. He took all these menial positions. And remembering that, he started crying. So somebody cries out of love, you cannot say, why are you crying? If you don't have love, you don't cry. Somebody has love, somebody cries. So somebody cries in love, you cannot say, why are you crying? Because love is such a thing, it is actually a property. Love is a property. Why are you having property? Who are you to ask? You have got property. In the same way, you have love for someone, you cannot say why you have love. So that love is the property. And it should be dovetailed to Krishna. You cannot love a person on the material platform. You should love the parents who have given you Krishna consciousness. You should love your sister brothers who have given you Krishna consciousness. Love your friends, love the devotees. But generally we love so many people who are not even giving a drop of Krishna consciousness. That love is only termed as lust. And that is not going to last more. The parents who give Krishna consciousness, they are remembered always. But they are the first Guru. Guru, it's not Mata Pita Guru. Mata Pita are Guru only when they give Krishna consciousness. Every mother feeds. Every father goes and earns. It's not a big thing. Even the dog gives milk to the puppies. The, what do you call, bitch, the lady dog, which female dog. So nothing so great in it. So we should understand, love is for whom? You cannot say, I love my family members. Your family members have not contributed even a small drop in your Krishna consciousness. Loving them is only a lust. You have expectation. Loving those parents who really trained you, who have practically given you in the mission without expecting something from you. So that is their sacrifice. Sometimes parents, they tolerate all their difficulties. They don't expect anything from the children. They allow the children to be in the mission. That itself is their contribution to the mission. Just imagine if the parents go on crying, you come, take care of me. What a person will walk in Krishna consciousness. So we should be indebted. We should be indebted to such well-wishers. Now Arjuna is thinking about Krishna and feeling that indebtedness. That is how he is having that love for Lord. And he is crying with that love. Okay. All three Narayana Dev.
Hare Krishna, I am reading Mataji. Sakyam Maitrim Sohridam Cha.
All three.
All three, okay. Shokena Shushyad Vadana Rita Sarojo Hata Prabha Vibhum Tam Evanusmaran Nashaknot Pratibhashitam. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up. Therefore, his body lost all luster. Now, remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. Krichrena samstapya shuchaha panina mricya netrayo parokshena samudnatha pranayot kanthakataraha. With great difficulty, he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed because Lord Krishna was out of his sight and he increasingly felt affection for him. Satyam maitrim sohridam cha saryatyadishu samsmaran nripam agrajamityah bashpagad gadaya gira. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Remembering Lord Krishna and his well-wishes, benefactions, intimate familial relations, and his chariot driving, Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing very heavily, began to speak. The Supreme Living Being is perfect in all relations with his pure devotee. Sri Arjuna is one of the typical pure devotees of the Lord, reciprocating in the fraternal relationship, and the Lord's dealings with Arjuna are displays of friendship of the highest perfect order. He was not only a well-wisher of Arjuna, but actually a benefactor. And to make it still more perfect, the Lord tied him into a family relationship by arranging Subhadra's marriage with him. And above all, the Lord agreed to become a chariot driver of Arjuna in order to protect his friend from warfare risks, and the Lord became actually happy when he established the Pandavas to rule over the world. Arjuna remembered all these one after another, and thus he became overwhelmed with such thoughts.
Arjunovaच Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina Yena me prahutam tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. Arjuna said, Vanchitaha, left by him, Aham, myself, Maharaja, O king, Harina, by the personality of Godhead, Bandhurupina, as if an intimate friend, Yena, by whom, may, my, Apparatam, I have been bereft, Teja, power, Deva, the demigods, Vishmapanam, astonishing, Mat, astounding. The translation goes, Arjuna said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. So this is the most important aspect. It's Lord who gives us the power. The moment we are out of Krishna consciousness, we are just the branch which has been broken by which has been removed by a tree, or removed from a tree, or broken from a tree. That branch only withers and dries. That is why being in Krishna consciousness is the only way to have power. We ourselves have no knowledge, we are duffers. We cannot think that I will read and I'll get a knowledge. We have no knowledge, no power. Yadyad vibhuti matsattvam shrimad eva va tattadevavatchattam mama tejonsa sambhavam. Very clearly, Lord says, Yadyad vibhuti matta, whatever vibhutis or whatever extraordinary power, intelligence a person has, samarthya a person has, Lord is there, Guru Kripa is there, that is why. Moment Guru Kripa is removed, Lord's Kripa is automatically removed. So for us, who is the nearest person to whom we can relate, that is our Guru, who is devotee of Lord. That is how every disciple is dependent on the mercy of Guru, who is staunch devotee of Krishna, who comes in disciplic succession, who has control over mind and senses, who preaches what he practices. That is how the spiritual master is recognized. He should have his Guru. His Guru should have his Guru. So now all our teja is dependent on our surrenderance. It's not just one person, it's surrendered to the whole parampara. Now Arjuna is fortunate to get directly Krishna. That doesn't mean that we are misfortunate, we don't have fortune. We are also fortunate to have Krishna through our spiritual master. Krishna's knowledge and Krishna are non-different. Okay. Krishna Priya Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam Mataji. Arjuna Uvacha Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhu Rupina Yena me pahatam tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 10.41, the Lord says, anyone specifically powerful and opulent in wealth, strength, beauty, knowledge, and all that is materially desirable is to be considered but a product of an insignificant portion of the complete whole of my energy. No one, therefore, can be independently powerful in any measure without being endowed by the Lord. Even when the Lord descends on the earth alone with his eternal, ever liberated association, he not only displays the divine energy possessed by himself, but also empowers his associate devotees with the required energy to execute his mission of incarnation. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.5 that the Lord and his eternal associates descends on the earth many times, but the Lord remembers all the different roles of incarnations, whereas the associates by his supreme will forget them. Similarly, the Lord takes away with him all his associates when he disappears from the earth. The power and energy which were bestowed upon Arjuna were required for fulfillment of the mission of the Lord. But when his mission was fulfilled, the emergency powers were withdrawn from Arjuna because the astounding powers of Arjuna, which were astonishing even to the denizens of the heaven, were no longer required, and they were not meant for going back home, back to Godhead. If endowment of powers and withdrawal of powers by the Lord are possible, even for a great devotees like Arjuna or even the demigods in heaven, then what to speak of the ordinary living beings who are but figs compared to such great souls? The lesson is, therefore, that no one should be puffed up for his powers borrowed from the Lord. The sane means should rather feel obliged to the Lord for such beneficence and must utilize such power for the service of the Lord. Such power can be withdrawn at any time by the Lord. So, the best use of such power and opulence is to engage them in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
The best use of such power is to always be engaged in the service of Lord. That is why Lord has given the power. The power is not meant to show the pride, isn't it? यस्य क्षणवियोगेन लोको ह्यः प्रियदर्शनः युक्तेन रहितो येषः मृतकः प्रोच्यते यतः यस्य whose kshana, a moment, viyogena, by separation, lokaha, all the universes, he is certainly apriya darshanaha, everything appears unfavorable, uktena, by life, rahita, being devoid of, he is certainly esha, all these bodies, mritakaha, dead bodies, prochete, are designated yatha, as it were. I just lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void like bodies without life. Nice verse, actually. A person who is not Krishna conscious is a materialistic person. He is only a body without life, a dead body moving. This is only the verse. The universes are like the bodies without life. If you don't have bhakti, and that body is only a moving dead body. Bhagavad Bhakti hinasya jati shastra japattapa apranasya dehasya mandalam lokaranjanam. The first question I asked to my Shiksha Guru, why I feel, before coming to ISKCON, I used to feel that all dead bodies are moving. My mother is looking at something wrong is there. From my childhood, I used to think all dead bodies. She took me to the doctor. I told he's also dead body. I don't know. I used to think everybody is dead body moving. And then I became quiet because in colleges also I feel I used to be quiet, not much friend, sit silently. I used to think dead bodies are decorating their body. I don't know. I used to feel everybody are dead bodies only. So I asked this question, why is it that I feel everybody are dead bodies, especially marriages? So then this verse is quoted, Bhagavat Bhakti Hinasya. You don't have love for Krishna, that is why you are gossiping, so many things. Bhagavat Bhakti Hinasya. Jati Shastra Japa Tapa. You may be doing lot of tapasya, you may be doing Shastra Dhyan, everything, but you don't have love. The love is completely aloof from all these things. You may be born in a higher community, Jati, Shastra, Japa, Tapa. You may be doing many japas. People are doing lot of japas. Many types of japas. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastra Japa Tapa Apranasya Dehasya. How is that body which has no prana? Pranasya Dehasya. Mandalam Lokaranjanam. You give bath to the body. You wear a new cloth to the body. What is the use? Same thing. If we are not giving Krishna consciousness, or we are dealing with the people who have no love for Krishna, we are dealing with dead bodies. Understand? That is why we should give Krishna consciousness to first our relatives, if you really want to deal with them. Outsiders, anyhow, you don't want to deal with them. To whoever you want to deal, first give Krishna consciousness. The best way of giving Krishna consciousness is say Hare Krishna to whoever you see. You need not have to give a big Shastra Gyan because they are not ready to hear you. At least you can say Hare Krishna. They will respond to you because they love you. They are your relatives. So this is, and you can give Krishna Prasadam. And somewhere some prana is there. And then you can deal with such people. You may say, oh, my sister is so wonderful. My brother is so wonderful. No one is wonderful without Krishna. All are dead bodies. So the best thing is what? Say at least Hare Krishna and give some Krishna Prasad. Then deal with such people. Then it's okay. At least with some prana you are dealing. Okay. So here Arjuna says, I lost him. So the universe is completely now, has lost all its glamour. It is fading now. Without Krishna. It's like bodies without Krishna. Adi Satviki Mataji read.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम यस्य शाना वियोगेन लोको है प्रिय दर्शनः उक्थेन रहितो येष मृतकः पृच्छते यथा Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have just lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. Purport. Factually, for a living being, there is no one dearer than the Lord. The Lord expands himself by innumerable parts and parcels as Swamsa and Bibhinnangsa. Paramatma is the Swamsa part of the Lord, whereas the Bibhinnamsa parts are the living beings. As the living being is the important factor in the material body. For without the living being, the material body has no value. Similarly, without Paramatma, the living being has no status quo. Similarly, Brahman or Paramatma has no locus standi without the Supreme Lord Krishna. This is thoroughly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. They are all interlinked with one another or interdependent factors. Thus, in the ultimate issue, the Lord is the Samam Bonam and therefore the vital principle of everything. Thank you very much, Mataji.
अच्छा बाकी बाकी सब बैठ श्री
यत् संशयात् द्रुपदगेहम् उपागतानां राज्ञां स्वयं वरमुखे स्मरदुर्मदानां तेजोर्तं खलु मया निहतश्च मतस्यः सज्जीकृतेन धनुषा निकटा च कृष्ण. So yet by whose merciful samshrayat, by strength, Drupada Geham, in the palace of King Drupad, Upagatanam, all those assembled, Ragyam of the princess, Swayamvara Mukhe, on the occasion of the selection of the bridegroom, Smaradrumadanam, all esteemed power, Teja power, Bhutam vanquished, Khalu as it were, Maya by me, Abhyataha pierced, Cha also, Matsyaha, the fish target, Sajjikutena by keep the bow, Ganusha by that bow also, Adigata, gain Cha also Krishna, Draupadi. Now he's remembering all the past. He says, only by his merciful strength, Yat Samshaya, I was able to vanquish all lusty princes at the palace of King Drupad. For the selection of bridegroom, with my bow and arrow, I could pierce the fish target, thereby gain the hand of Drupad. So this was a condition kept. So he says, this was not my strength, it is his mercy. That is how one should always be remembered the mercy of one spiritual master. How are we going to put this in the practical application? That's why every day we sing Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado. So we are grateful to Lord to give us Guru. We are grateful to Krishna, to Guru to give us Lord. Vice versa. Yasya Prasadat, because of your mercy, Bhagavat Prasado. I have got Guru. Getting Guru is a big thing. Now so many devotees are thinking from whom we'll get initiation. When Guru is freely available, we take time. Let 1 year happen, let 2 year happen. Anyhow, Guru's representatives are always there. But still, to get spiritual master requires mercy of Krishna. He says, I'm able to remember the mercy because of whom I got the strength. Because of the mercy of Krishna, I got the strength. Okay, Vasandani Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thanks for the service. Yat samshrayad drupad geham upagatanam ragyam swambara mukhe samara durma danam tejo khalau maya bhit tash cha matsya saji kritena Dhanu Sadhi Gata Cha Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Only by his merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the lusty princes assembled at the palace of King Drupada for the selection of the bridegroom. With my bow and arrow, I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi. Purport. Draupadi was the most beautiful daughter of King Drupada. And when she was a young girl, almost all the princes desired her hand. But Drupada Maharaj decided to hand over his daughter to Arjuna only and therefore contrived a peculiar way. There was a fish hanging on the inner roof of the house under the protection of a wheel. The condition was that out of the princely order, one must be able to pierce the fish's eye through the wheel of the protection, and no one would be allowed to look up at the target. On the ground, there was a water pot in which the target and wheel were reflected, and one had to fix his aim towards the target by looking at the trembling water in the pot. Maharaj Drupad well knew that only Arjuna or alternatively Karna could successfully carry out the plan. But still, he wanted to hand his daughter to Arjuna. And in the assembly of the princely order, when Drishtadyumna, the brother of Draupadi, introduced all the princes to his grown-up sister, Karna was also present in the game. But Draupadi tactfully avoided Karna as rival of Arjuna, and she expressed her desire through her brother Drishtadyumna that she was unable to accept anyone who was less than a Kshatriya. The Vaishyas and the Shudras are less important than the Kshatriyas. Karna was known as the son of a carpenter, a Shudra. So Draupadi avoided Karna by this plea. When Arjuna, in the dress of a poor Brahman, pierced the difficult target, everyone was astonished, and all of them, especially Karna, offered a stiff fight to Arjuna. But as usual, by the grace of Lord Krishna, he was able to emerge very successful in the princely fight and thus gain the valuable hand of Krishna or Draupadi. Arjuna was lamentingly remembering the incident in the absence of the Lord, by whose strength only he was so powerful. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Eighth verse. Yatsannidavahamu khandavam agnaye tada. Yasannidavaham yu khandavam agnayedam indram cha samaragganam tarasa viditya labda sabhamaya kutat bhutashilpamaya digbhyo hara trupatayo balimadbharete. Yet who is Sannidau, being nearby, Aham myself, O note of astonishment, Khandavam, the protected forest of Indra, king of heaven, Agniye unto the fire god, Adam delivered, Indram Indra also, so along with Amaragalam, demigod, Tarasa with all dexterity, Vijitya having conquered, Labdha having obtained, Sabha assembly, house, Maya Kruta built by Maya, Adbhuta very wonderful, Shupa art and workmanship, Maya potency, Digbhya from all directions, Aharan collected, Nupataya on premises, Bharim presentations, Advare brought a year. So because he was near me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity the powerful king of heaven, Indradev, along with his demigod associates, and thus enable the fire god to devastate the Khandava forest. And only by his grace was the demon named Maya saved from the blazing Khandava forest. Only by his grace was the demon saved from the blazing Khandava forest. And thus we could build our assembly house of wonderful architectural workmanship, where all the princes assembled during the performance of Rasuya Yajna and paid your tributes. So this was a question asked also. The Sudharma assembly hall was a very wonderful hall. But how it happened, so that story is given in the purport. So Ashokanija Prabhu, read the words and read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Yatsannidho ahamu khandavam agneyada indriyam cha sa amaranam tarasa vijitya labda sapa maikrata adbhut shilpamaya digbhayo aharan napatayo balim advarete. Purport. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Because he was near me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity the powerful king of heaven, Indradeva, along with his demigod associates, and thus enable the fire god to devastate the Khandva forest. And only by his grace was the demon named Maya saved from the blazing Khandva forest. And thus we could build our assembly house of wonderful architectural workmanship, where all the princes assembled during the performance of Rajasviya Yagna and paid you tributes. Purport. The demon Maya Daman was an inhabitant of the forest Khandava, and when the Khandva forest was set on fire, he asked protection from Arjuna. Arjuna saved his life, and as a result of this, the demon felt obliged. He reciprocated by building a wonderful assembly house for the Pandavas, which attracted the extraordinary attention of all state princes. They felt the supernatural power of the Pandavas, and thus without grudge, all of them submitted and paid tributes to the emperor. The demon possesses wonderful and supernatural powers to create material wonders, but they are always disturbing elements of the society. The modern demons are the harmful material scientists who create some material wonders for disturbance in the society. For example, The creation of nuclear weapons has caused some panic in human society. Maya was also a materialist like that, and he knew the art of creating such wonderful things. And yet, Lord Krishna wanted to kill him. When he was chased both by the fire and by the wheel of Lord Krishna, he took shelter of such a devotee as Arjuna, who saved him from the wrath of the fire of Lord Sri Krishna. Devotees are therefore more merciful than the Lord, and in devotional service, the mercy of a devotee is more valuable than the mercy of the Lord. Both the fire and the Lord ceased from chasing the demon as soon as both of them saw that the demon was given shelter by such a devotee as Arjuna. This demon, feeling obliged to Arjuna, wanted to do him some service to show his gratefulness, but Arjuna declined to accept anything from him in exchange. Lord Sri Krishna, however, being pleased with Maya for his taking shelter of a devotee, asked him to render service unto King Yudhishthir by building a wonderful assembly house. The process is that by the grace of devotee, the mercy of the Lord is obtained, and by the mercy of the Lord, a chance to serve the Lord's devotee is obtained. The club of Bhishma Sena was also a gift of Maya Dhanva. Hare Krishna.
Yasya prasada bhagavad prasad. And the last thing, which Prabhupada writes, only by the mercy of Lord of your devotee, association of devotee happens. By the mercy of devotee, Lord happens. Yatejasa vipashirondri manmakhatam adyo nigastava gajayutastatvaviraha Nenarita pramatha natamakhaya bhuta yanmochitastat anayam balim atvarete yatu tejasa by influence Nupashira Andhra, one whose feet are adored by the heads of kings, Ahankil Makatham for the sacrifice, Aryaha respectable, Anujaha younger brother, Tavayuvar, Gaja Ayutaha 10,000 elephants, Swavirya powerful existence, Tena by him, Aharutaha collected, Pramata Natha the Lord of Ghosts, Mahavairava Mukhaya for sacrifice, Bhupa, kings, Yat Mochita, by whom they were released, the Anyam, all of them brought, Balim taxes, Atva represented Teyur. This is the last verse. Your respectable younger brother, who possesses the strength of 10,000 demons, 10,000 elephants. Killed by his grace, Jarasandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandha's Mahabhairava Yajna. But they were thus released. Later, they paid tribute to your majesty. So in this way here, how Jarasandha was killed. Your respectable younger brother, who has so much of strength. Now here Bhima has been spoken. The Bhima killed Jarasandha. But how? Because of the grace of Lord. So everybody got the strength because of the grace of Lord. That is what Arjuna wants to mention. You see, every word he says by the grace of Lord, by the grace of Lord. That is his understanding. Only because Lord is there, everything happens. Even Kunti Maharani also spoke the same thing. Oh Lord, you are leaving us and going. What will happen? Our whole kingdom is deserted. Because now we cannot see your wonderful marks of your footprints. So, what was decorated? What decorated our kingdom? That will be now not there. What is the use? the decoration is not there, you are not there, and your lotus feet marks are not there, then we have no value. You may say that you are given the kingdom, everything, but we have no value. Okay? We will read. Adisatiki Mataji, you have read?
Haribol, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, I can read it. Problem. Jatte Jasa Nipashira Hangri Mahanmakhartam Arya Hanujastaba Gaja Yuto Satyavirya Tena Ritaha Ramatha Nathamakaya Bhupa Janma Chita Stadanayana Nayan Bali Madhvarete. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your respectable younger brother who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants killed by his grace Jarasandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandha's Mahabhairava Yajna, but they were thus released. Later they paid tribute to your majesty. Purport: Jarasandha was a great powerful king of Magadha, and the history of his birth and activities is also very interesting. His father, King Brihadratha, was also a very prosperous and powerful king of Magadha, but he had no son. Although he married 2 daughters of the king of Kasi, being disappointed is not getting a son from either of the 2 queens, the king, along with his wives, left home to live in the forest for austerities. But in the forest, he was benedicted by one great rishi who have a son, and he gave him 1 mango to be eaten by the queens. The queens did so and were very soon pregnant. The king was very happy to see the queens bearing children, but when the right time approached, the queens delivered 1 child in 2 parts, one from each of the queen's wombs. The 2 parts were thrown in the forest, where a great she-demon used to live, and she was glad to have some delicate flesh and blood from the newly born child. Out of curiosity, she joined the 2 parts, and the child became complete and regained life. The she-demon was known as Jara, and being compassionate on the childless king, she went to the king and presented him with the nice child. The king was very pleased with the she-demon and wanted to reward her according to her desire. The she-demon expressed her desire that the child be named after her, and thus the child was surnamed Jarasandha, or one who was joined by Jara. The she-demon, in fact, this Jarasandha was born in one of the parts and parcels of the demon Viprachitti. The saints by whose benedictions the queens bore the child was called Chandra Kausika, who foretold of the child before his father Brahadratha. Since Jarasandha possessed demonic qualities from birth, naturally he became a great devotee of Lord Shiva, the lord of all ghostly and demoniac men. Ravana was great devotee of Shiva, and so also Jarasandha. He used to sacrifice all arrested kings before Lord Mahabhairava, Shiva. And by his military power, he defeated many small kings and arrested them to butcher before Mahabhairava. There are many devotees of Lord Mahabhairava or Kalabhairava in the province of Bihar, formerly called Magadha. Jarasandha was a relative of Kamsa, the maternal uncle of Krishna, and therefore after Kamsa's death, King Jarasandha became a great enemy of Krishna, and there were many fights between Jarasandha and Krishna. Lord Krishna wanted to kill him, but he also wanted that those who served as military men for Jarasandha might not be killed. Therefore, a plan was adopted to kill him. Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna together went to Jarasandha in the dress of poor Brahmanas and begged charity from King Jarasandha. Jarasandha never refused charity to any Brahmana, and he performed many sacrifices also. Yet he was not on a par with devotional service. Lord Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna asked Jarasandha for the facility of fighting him, and it was settled that Jarasandha would fight with Bhima only. So all of them were both guests and combatants of Jarasandha. And Bhima and Jarasandha fought every day for several days. Bhima became disappointed, but Krishna gave him hints about Jarasandha's being joined together as an infant, and thus Bhima dissected him again and so killed him. All the kings who were detained in the concentration camp to be killed before Mahabhairava were thus released by Bhima. Feeling thus obliged to the Pandavas, they paid tribute to King Yudhishthira. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the service.
Lord took the blade of grass and cut like this. Action. Like for Duryodhana, Lord patted on the thighs. Immediately Bhima bait the thighs. So Lord gave like these tricks. Okay? Any questions? Please.
Mataji, by the grace of the devotee, the mercy of the Lord is obtained. How to understand this? By the grace
Perform
of
devotional
the
service,
mercy.
you need association of devotees. To perform devotional service, you need association of devotees. And devotees just don't come like that. Association is also given by Lord so that he can take service from us. If Lord would have not given the association, we would have been wandering here and there. To hook us in the service, Lord sends his representatives. So the spiritual masters, the Vaishnavas, they are all family people of Krishna. So Lord gives so that we can be engaged. And why Lord gives? Because maybe in some lifetime we have done some sukruti, or maybe not. Because of unknowingly, knowingly, we have done something in relation to devotional service. Maybe I have not done that also. But somewhere, compassion of the devotee, like Maya, the woman, had the compassion of Arjuna. The compassion of devotee also can uplift a person. That is why Prabhupada says, show compassion to even an atheist. He is suffering. Atheist means a madman. A person who has no faith in God. So actually, he may be a very polished person, very nice, rich, very learned, but he has no faith in Lord. But there is a mad person who comes to the temple, at least he has faith in Lord. So better is show more compassion to both also, not like that. But don't drive away mad people. They are better. They have faith in Lord, they are mad people. There are many mad people associated. You see in ISKCON, you will find many mad people. Prabhupada says what to do. This is a mental hospital, Prabhupada too. So Prabhupada is curing all of us. Somebody is more mad, somebody is less mad. Madness means getting angry for no reason. Somebody gets anger for no reason. Somebody gets angry for some reason. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsaryata. All these are the reasons for a mad person. So world itself is a mad. Out of that, there are special mad people for which lunatic asylum has been made. But Prabhupada says, I have made a big asylum. All mad people can come. We are also one of them. So Prabhupada is curing us by giving us Krishna Katha. We may be a polished mad person. Somebody may show is a mad person. And till we attain the pure devotional service, till we remove all our vices, we are all having the same thing. In relativity, some may have more, some may have less. Some may say palm more, some may please accept my humble obeisance. Now tell me, is it not madness to say Mangala? Can't we say Mangala Arti? So this is the abbreviation. Again, this is madness only. Maha Maha. What is Maha? Say na Prasad. I'm going to Mangala. As I'm going to Bangala. Mangala, Bangala, and all should not say Mangal Arti. Prabhupada has not used Mangala Shabd. They is all seeing each other. This is also madness also. So every one of us are mad to some extent. Somebody is distinctly seen as mad. That much only. If you are not doing good sadhana, understand that is also madness. Not able to complete rounds, madness. Mad after wasting time. So, some may distinctly be seen as a mad person roaming like this. But at least he's roaming in a temple. So, but we have to show compassion even to atheists also. Everyone. Okay?
And Mataji, mango was given and twins were pregnant.
What? What?
Mango was given to the twins and they became pregnant. Mango.
Which area this verse was there?
Yeah. Jalasan, birth.
Hmm. There's a story, no?
Story.
Mataji, when these two portions of child were born, half to one queen and half to one queen, then were they live? They had consciousness or not? They gained consciousness only when the Jara demon joined them.
What is Jara demon joining?
It is written that she joined two half pieces, then she thought of joining them, and when she joined, it became a live child.
The demon took these two portions, took a body. The soul, which is demonic, took these two portions, combined.
Oh.
Well, he thought that better I take these two portions, nobody can kill me. So this is the story, that half this, half here, this mangoes. So two bodies got, and actually somebody has to enter, na? It is Demon Jarasan who took this. So Demon Jarasan took the opportunity to.
Thank you.
You have to go through that story again properly.
Okay. Thank you.
You have that story in the Bhagavad also. Just go through that. But in short has been given.
Which
There's
part?
something in short. Jarasan, about Jarasan is read in the Krishna book.
Krishna book. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Anchakar Guru Vishya Kripa Sindhu Vincha Patikanam Pavane Devesh.